Barcelona come into this game riding high after a 2-1 Champions League victory against Newcastle United. Marcus Rashford was the star of the night, and then you also do have Pedri Frenkie de Jong controlling the midfield. Domestically, Barcelona are in strong form as well, sitting in second place in La Liga with 10 points from their opening 4 games, where they had 3 wins and 1 draw so far. And their most recent league match that they had was a 6-0 demolition against Valencia at the Johan Cruyff Stadium. On the other side, you also do have Real Madrid, who remain perfect with 4 wins out of 4, meaning that for Barcelona going into this match against Getafe, they have very little margin for error. If we do want to maintain a tight title race against our rivals, we have to defeat teams like Getafe. And let me tell you, Getafe is not going to be easy whatsoever. They have been proving to be an early surprise with Bordalas, a coach that I'm not really a fan of, but he has been doing a great job so far by collecting 9 points from 4 matches, losing only once against Valencia, a team that we have beaten 6-0. They currently do sit 4th on the table, which is a remarkable step up from last season's 13th place finish. We'll see if they can maintain that position in the long run. But overall, as you can see, they have defeated Celta Vigo 2-0, 2-1 against Sevilla, lost against Valencia 3-0, but then won once again against Real Oviedo 2-0. So if you really think about it, the only way Getafe does lose points is if they do face against very tough oppositions like the top 6 sides, like Valencia or Athletic Club or Real Madrid or maybe even FC Barcelona, which means that it is quite possible that Getafe may face their second loss against us in a few hours. I mean, like, when they have to face against a team that dominates possession, Getafe is not going to do any damage against us because as of right now, they do average a possession of 37.6%. It's one of the lowest in La Liga. Barcelona is on top with 70%. And then when you look at the accurate passes per 90 minutes, Getafe is in 20th position in La Liga, averaging only 206.5 passes per 90 minutes. That's really not a lot. So we can for sure predict that Barcelona will maintain at least 70% of the possession. Getafe is going to go up against us with one thing in mind, which is to create a deep block. They're not going to look into this game and say, how can we win 3 points? No, they're going to say, how can we take points away from FC Barcelona? And the only way that you could do that is by looking for a tie. So they will be sitting deep, and we are going to need all the support possible. We're going to be playing at the Johan Cruyff Stadium, which only has about 6,000 people maximum. But just like what happened in that match against Valencia, honestly, the number of people on there really doesn't matter as long as those 6,000 people can be loud, they can be effective, they can be supportive, and our players are truly going to feel it. So let's talk about the team news, right? And let's talk about the most possible 11 that we could place going up against Getafe. Now, it has been said according to Hansi Flick that Cubarsí will be in the squad list. However, I don't think that he will be starting. I really do think that it's going to be Andreas Christensen next to Ronald Araujo. Cubarsí will just be there in case Christensen or Araujo does get injured, but I just don't think that there's a real game plan for him. As for the fullbacks position, I do think that's going to be Jules Koundé on the right back position with Gerard Martin on the left back position. Having Christensen, Araujo, Koundé, and Gerard Martin does give me a lot of confidence. I think that they can do the job very well. I was really impressed with what Jules Koundé and Gerard Martin brought to the table against Newcastle. Gerard Martin in particular, mainly because he's new, also because he's younger and one of the youngest in this squad. And honestly, I'm very impressed with the way that he has been performing as a left back. Very communicative, very transparent with his teammates, always looking to anticipate, always looking to intercept, and confident in those 1v1 defensive duels. It's really good coming from him. As for the midfield, I think that we can all say and safely say that it should be only Frenkie de Jong and Pedri. I know that we have just talked about how Frenkie maybe needs some rest, that we should not be forcing him to play so much immediately after an injury spell. However, there has been reports stating that Frenkie de Jong is feeling very well. He feels 100%. He feels healthy. He has been doing very well in training. And so if that's going to be the case, then so be it. Let it be Frenkie and Pedri and let them have another wonderful game. It's going to be insane. It's going to be amazing, entertaining. And honestly, for a match specifically for Getafe, I'm not going to expect for Getafe to try and press us high like Newcastle did. Hence the reason why I think that Frenkie and Pedri double pivot is going to be less important. I believe what's going to be the most important is, can we find those through balls in the low block that Getafe will create? So we are going to need a lot of chance creation as possible. By the way, this would also be the perfect game for Lamine Yamal, and it would really benefit FC Barcelona. I also expect to see Fermin Lopez in the number 10 role. Ideally, I'm not going to lie to you guys, something tells me that Fermin will start, but my heart is telling me that Dani Olmo should start in this game because he needs to be given more chances. I know that we've just talked about how Fermin has shown that he is a priority over Dani Olmo and that he is currently a better player, but for a tight game like this, and just for the sake of rotation and because we're going to need Fermin Lopez for future games, it would make sense for Olmo to go into the number 10 position just for this match only. Part of me is also really thinking about those last 2 matches before October 2nd, which is Real Sociedad and PSG. Like, Barcelona will be playing at home for those 2 matches. We have Getafe and then we have Real Oviedo and then we have Real Sociedad and then PSG. I am really thinking about Sociedad and PSG PSG right now, which does make me think in a certain way, right? Like, I just don't want to see any player like Frenkie or Pedri or Fermin Lopez or Rafinha to ever get injured. I want to see a lot of rotation for these next upcoming 2 matches. So we'll see how it goes. I expect Marcus Rashford to also be starting on the left wing position. He's currently undroppable because of that Champions League brace. I think that there's a lot of momentum that he is carrying, and I want to see that, right? It's very exciting to see that now, officially, Rafinha is getting some competition on the left wing position. How is Rafinha going to react to that? Because Rafinha did not have a vibrant game against Newcastle. It was Marcus Rashford, and that was because Rafinha couldn't go to his position that he wanted to. But with Lamine Yamal being sidelined because of a groin issue, Rafinha is still going to maintain his position in the starting 11, but it's going to be on the right wing with Marcus Rashford on the left, and I would say Ferran Torres on the striker position. So all in all, that is going to be my starting 11. I know there could be some changes. I know that maybe Dani Olmo could start in the number 10 position. I think that it's going to be Fermin, and then maybe some of you guys might say that Lewandowski should be starting on the number 9 position instead of Ferran Torres. However, like I've said, I am thinking about those 2 matches that is coming up, and I want to see Lewandowski fully fresh and to score as many goals as possible. Now let's quickly talk about some injury news, because we do have some updates in regards to Gavi. It has been stated that Gavi is recovering from a meniscus issue that has shown a lot of improvement in the past 24 hours, which means that he's going to be avoiding the need for a second surgery, and he could even return to training next week and might be available for the Champions League clash against PSG on October 1st. Barcelona have made it very clear they don't want to rush him, but there's a lot of optimism of him growing away from this and becoming an even better player when he does return. And so there you have it, right? So like, Gavi is going to be returning. I can't wait to see what he does have to say to this world-class midfield that we have between Frenkie and Pedri. Can he have a say? Can he maintain a position in the 11? Or could he show that he can be Barcelona's best number 10? Speaking about Frenkie de Jong, now let's go off the pitch and let's talk about contracts and transfers, because Deco came out with a interview yesterday and he explained Frenkie de Jong's position by stating that the contract talks are progressing very well. Both the player and the club want an extension, and the optimism is very high. It's great to hear that Frenkie de Jong wants to extend now, because knowing that his performance is at an all-time high, of course we want to renew Frenkie de Jong. The more we can maintain a duo of Pedri and Frenkie, the better Barcelona is going to be. As for Lewandowski, many had questions about what's going to happen to that player, and Deco said because of his age, because of his current physical fitness, it's going to be a year-by-year situation where they're going to be looking at the end of every season and say, okay, are you ready to take on another season? Do you feel ready? Are you mentally there? Or do you feel burnt out and you want to go somewhere else? So all in all, I believe that Barcelona are going to do very well against Getafe. Getafe have beaten Barcelona only 4 times ever in history, with their last win happening back on October 2020. And check this, right? They have also never won away against FC Barcelona. In my personal opinion, Getafe will make life very difficult for us, but with Barcelona's quality and the momentum, it's going to carry them through. My predicted scoreline for this game is going to be a 5-0 win. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.